Yeah. Sas, I would like to ask you, did anyone bother to contact you to get your insights and interview you? Yung pasabog mo na si Counsel Dove Jacobs was actually a professor in 4 subjects? Kasi kung sa ibang circumstances pa yun,
Wala rin.
kung nagkataon pa yun na,
Hindi rin sila nag-cover about anything, even the expose, binalita ba nila yung mga DPWH contract ni Adjong? That is actually in the public interest. Is that fake news? Binalita ba nila yung grabe yung bloat ng budget ng House of Representatives?
Diba?
Ng ila, that's public interest. Sa akin na naman naririnig yan. That's why I'm relevant, Karen. Because bloggers can hit it where it hurts. Kayo, under the control kayo ng may-ari ng network. At yung mga may-ari ng mga networks ninyo, kabarkada ng mga politiko, tigilan ninyo ako. Kung hindi kabarkada kasimbutan, tigilan niyo ako. Yun ang sabihin ko, tigilan niyo ako. Tsaka ninyo. Sobrang kapal ng makeup ninyo, nawala na sa sobrang kapal ng mga makeup ninyo at sa haba ng mga fake eyelashes ninyo, pati utak ninyo ang pupurol, di ba? Kaya, kita mo, Karen, you have been besmirching me. You journalists, every one of you have been ganging up on me, calling me this. Natinag ba? Nawala ba ang moisture ko? Mas lalong lumobo ang aking engagement. Mas lalong lumobo ang aking audience. What does it mean? Are you saying na ang mga Pilipino ay boba, hindi nila alam kung sinasabi ko ay tama o mali o wala na sa common sense? Simple. Why is my milkshake bringing all the boys in the yard, Karen? Ask yourself, baby.
So anyway, nakakaloka. Naloka ako dito kay Karen. Kakaiba, Diyos me. Parang yung talagang hindi talaga sila umaamin na ang dami-dami nilang misinformation. I mean, even the even yung main subject matter, which is the contempt order, na parang to parang think of it na ito alam mo yan, yung nire-relate sa fake news, yung the issue, the subject matter of the contempt, yung kay Mark Lopez is very different. It's not about the attendance. It's really about something that he posted na attacking the TRICO. It's not about fake news. It's not about yung kay SAS at saka kay Prof. Ana, I think. Si Prof. Ana na inissuehan rin nila ng contempt order eh. Si Prof.
Really?
Ana.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Hindi mo naman siya sa Pinang.
Inissuehan rin siya?
Parang wala naman.
Oo.
Double check mo, girl.
Ay, sorry. Si Doc Lorraine, ka Eric, at saka si, tama, kayong tatlo lang pala, at saka pang-apat na si Mark. Sorry. Although na-mention si Prof. Ana like several times, nung hearing. She was mentioned several times nung hearing. I'm not sure if, maybe parang, meron din sinend sa kanya eh, pero I'm not so sure kung show cause or subpoena. Ayun. Prof. Ana, Malindog Uy. Kasi ilang beses siya inulit-ulit ni Tariele. Ayun.
Oh my goodness, who is that? May nabasa ko, Joey. Si na-recruit na rin ni Mangga. Na-recruit na rin ng mga Mangga. Unang Mangga si Dare to Ask. Oh my goodness. May recruitment pala nangyayari.
Oo.
Hindi ako aware.
Oo. Ako nga ang pinaka-powerful kasi binrainwash ko daw si Tio. So, grabe yung power na binibigay sa akin ng mga tao. Nakaya ko i-brainwash si Tio Moreno. Diyos me, ganun ang mga hanash.
Hala ka. Kasi nag-post kasi ako ng video ni Senator Amy a few minutes ago lang regarding dun sa privileged speech niya noong December 18. Kasi I've been receiving some comments saying that wala namang ginawa si Amy sa budget. So, I haven't addressed it yet. So, kaya nag-post ako na she did something. Kahit ano pang sabihin mo kay Amy, kahit ano pang duda mo sa kanya, kahit ano pang distrust mo sa kanya, I think lahat naman tayo may ganung pakiramdam, or hindi naman lahat, but most people. And that is perfectly understandable. Pero nung nasabihin mo sa kanya na wala siyang ginawa o sinabi against the budget. Kasi before pa man magsalita lahat at before pa man na-discover yung blank sa BICAM, before pa man nasabi yung mga sa kung ano-ano, sinabi na lahat ni Amy Marcos yan sa privilege speech niya. Sobrang grabe yung sinabi yung pasabog doon. At saka hindi talaga siya nag-mince ng words doon. Pero narinig ko yun. Parang hindi ko masyadong okay. Parang ganoon ako. At saka medyo sabi ko, ay nako, si Amy naman, parang pakitang tao lang siguro to or what.
Ayun. Anyway, ito yung privilege speech na sinasabi mo, yung may kasi, ang tawag dito, di ba nagkaroon rin ng issue to si Senator Amy doon sa 2024 budget, yung deliberation ng 2024 budget. Natatanda mo yun there? yung kino-question niya yung BICAM na budget. Pagkatapos, parang binalikan siya ng mga younger congressman na parang, ano sinasabi mo? Anong kino-question mo? Pumirma ka doon sa BICAM. Natatandaan mo yun? Nakamute ka there.
Parang nawala, parang...
Ayan na, you're back.
Okay, sorry. Okay.
Natatandaan mo yun? Sa 2024 budget. Nangyari to ng 2023, end of 2023. Remember, yung putak ng putak tong si Amy Marcos tungkol doon sa BICAM. Yung BICAM, dyan naman talaga nangyayari lahat ng multo.
Yeah.
Putak na putak si Senator Amy tungkol doon sa BICAM. Tapos, sinupla siya nung yung batang congressman ng Ako Bicol.
Yeah, si Jill Bongalon.
Si Jill Bongalon, oo.
Yes.
Si Jill Bongalon. Inano siya na parang, putak ka ng putak dyan, pumirma ka naman.
Yes.
Pagkatapos, yung BICAM, nakita nga, nandun nga yung pirma niya. Nakapirma nga siya. Ang sagot ni Senator Amy then was that, yung signature na yan, kinuha lang sa akin yan.
E-signature.
Oo, parang e-signature yan, ganyan. So, syempre, ang dami nang nagduda dun sa mga, ni Amy na parang, sus naman, putak ng putak sa pagkatapos, nakapirma naman pala, ano ba naman yan, ganyan. Which is, I think, doon talaga, even if si e-signature lang yun, pinagkatiwala niya, she shouldn't give her e-signature. May lapse talaga dun si Senator Amy noong mga time na yun.
Yes, correct.
May lapse talaga siya doon. In fact, we talk about it di ba? Inano rin natin si Senator Amy doon na parang, kasi hindi mo naman kasi talaga magagamit yan na sabihin mo na e-sig yung kinuha mo. Kasi you still give the authority for it to be used.
Exactly.
Diba? Kasi hindi naman yan magagamit kung hindi ka nagbigay ng authority Ganun. And at the end of the day, whether it is e-signature or real signature, if it is authorized to be used that way, that is as good as signature. Ganyan.
Exactly.
But that process is something that is questionable, not only dun sa side ni Amy, ni Senator Amy, but dun sa side ng Congress itself. Kasi parang, dapat, meron talaga sila dyang may clear yan na inventory ng mga e-sig for what specific purpose siya gagamitin and things like that, ganyan. But come the 2025 budget, in 2024, same rin yung putak niya.
Yes. Actually, maganda yung nila. Si Amy at si Bato. Ang ganda ng tandem nilang dalawa. Kasi during the BICAM, nagsalita talaga si Bato. May video.
Yeah, oo.
Diba, naalala mo? Tapos si Amy.
And he went to the BICAM very, very late. Diba?
Yes. Yeah. Nung first, yung dalawa kasi yung meeting ng BICAM, diba? The first BICAM, everyone was present. Hindi sila late. Okay sila and everything. Tapos
si Bato, yung sinabi niya, hindi ako pipirma.
No. Sa first meeting ng BICAM, nagsabi siya na, Madam, yeah, please give us time.
Give us time.
Yes. Tapos nag-yes si Grace po. Nangako, sabi niya, okay, we will give you ample time. Sinabi ni Grace po yun, at saka ni Cheese Escudero. Si Bato at saka si Amy magkatabi sila, patango-tango sila. Pero before that, November 8 pa lang, si Amy Marcos, sumulat na siya kay Escudero at saka kay Grace po na gawin nating transparent yung BICAM. Sumulat siya, formal letter na sinabi niya kay Escudero at kay Grace po. Ibahin natin yung BICAM. Kasi nga, diba, sobrang matindi yung backlash na nangyari sa kanila pati kay Amy sa AKAP. Si Amy kasi yung nag-expose din sa 26.7 AKAP insertions ng 2024 plus yung 12 billion na COMELEC insertions para sa PDC ng People's Initiative. Siya rin kasi na gano'n. Tapos plus pa, si Inday, paulit-ulit na sinasabi ni Inday sa mga interviews niya na yung AKAP na inserted yan sa BICAM paulit-ulit na sinasabing Inday yan. So, Amy took notice of that and she took note of that and she indeed wrote a letter to the Senate leadership. Hindi siya na-replyan ni Grace po at saka ni Cheese Escudero. Kaya sinasabi ko sa noon, 'di ba? Yung tatlong yan, Grace po, Cheese Escudero at saka si Amy, may something
sila, yeah.
May grudge, meron yan sila, may parang may clash yan sila konti. At saka during sa budget deliberations, si Amy din, siya talaga yung, kasi normally it's the Senate minority group talaga ang kumikilati sa budget, no minority. Pero ito si Amy, parang pabibo talaga siya na pati yung gold reserves, yung utang and everything, tinanong niya talaga isa-isa yan. Alam mo, ang ganda ng interpretation niya nun. Pero again, tayong may mga duda sa kanya, tayong walang tiwala sa kanya, we just brush it off like, pakitang tao lang yan. Talagang, siguro sinasabi mo lang yan kasi parang gito ganyan. Pero kung titingnan mo talaga yung mga ginawa niya,
consistent siya.
Consistent talaga siya, Joy.
Alam mo, kasi nung 2023, para sa 2024 budget, di ba parang nasupalpal siya doon. But still, come the 2025 budget, during the 2024 deliberation, she still stood up and questioned yung mga insertions sa mga budget, yung mga blanco-blanco and things like that.
Yes,
may post siya ng pisas na na tawag dito na, di ba nung nagsalita si Kong Ungab about the budget, yung nung time na pinag-aralan na nila kung paano to kasuhan and things like that, lumabas yung mga statement ni Sen Amy saying the same things that Kong Ungab was saying. And I remember, so posted na parang, sinabi na pala to ni Ma'am Shi, pasensya ka na Ma'am Shi, may trust issue kami sa'yo.
Yeah, alam mo matindi talaga. Alam mo Joey, mas matindi talaga yung sinabi niya dun sa press con niya, sa privilege speech. Kasi sinabi nga niya yun doon, yung VIP. Kasi yung DPWH na may insertions na 300 billion plus. Ang nakalagay lang sa BICAM, which nakita naman natin yun, VIP ang nakalagay, various infrastructure program projects. Pero sinabi niya, ano to? Ano VIP na to? Very important persons, very important party list. Sabi niya gano'n. As in, tinira talaga niya doon. Pero another thing is, during sa Senate Committee deliberation ng budget, yung DPWH, dinivulge, pagdating sa plenary, dinivulge din ni Amy na yung wala na akap, diba? So 2024, may siningit na 26.7. Pagdating ng 2025, ang NEP, yung proposed budget, walang akap doon kasi insertion na lang yun. So tinanggal ng NEP. Pagdating sa House, nagsingit ang House ng 39, take note ha, 39.8 billion. So, nilagay yung sa GAB, sa General Appropriations Bill, galing sa House. Pagpasa ngayon sa committee ng Senate, DSWD is under IME, tinanggal ni IME yung 39.8. At nagsuggest pa nga siya doon na parang siguro i-merge na lang yung AX at AKAP. Kaya I posted something against her doon. I criticized her also on that. Pero in fairness sa kanya, tinanggal niya yung AKAP. So, pagdating sa BICAM, nagulat na naman siya kasi lumabas na naman yung AKAP. So, kaya nga parang, alam mo, sinasabi nila na parang, we've been thinking about this, kami kasi ni Kat sa DERT at dalawa kami na admin na, diba? Sinabi ko na parang, ito sa IME, even si Kat grabe yung trust issues niya, pero we would like to be, parang, ang gusto namin is, ang pamantayan kasi namin ng pag-endorse din is, number one,
yung actual na ginawa.
Actually, kaya nga, sabi ko nga, nung pagkakita ko sa ano nila ni VP, pagkakita ko sa, endorsement, nung sinabi ni IME, ay marami nagsasalita, pero sino nga ba ang may nagawa? Ramdam ko talaga yun kasi totoo talaga siya. May ginawa talaga siya. At saka sabi ko nga, alam mo ako, sobrang favorite ko si Marcoleta. I love Marcoleta so much. He is my favorite talaga among all the senatorials. Sabi ko, gusto ko sana may katandem si Marcoleta sa Senado. At saka, of course, Vic Rodriguez, okay, talaga, Lambino, Hinlo, Attorney Jimmy Bondoc, papasok sila. These would be the principled senators, strong, independent opposition. Pero ayun kasi, sa track record talaga niya, consistently nagsasalita talaga siya. Minsan iniisip ko nga, naku, si Senator Amy, mukhang yung mga tao niya sinusuyod yung social media. Tingin ko, sinusuyod nila yung mga Duterte supporters ng social media, tapos kinukumpile nila lahat ng issues, tapos yun yung laman ng speech niya. Kasi talagang lahat ng sinasabi natin, sinasabi talaga ni Amy. Kaso nga lang, tayo parang binabrush off lang natin, or ako personally, parang, sabi mo lang naman yun, parang ganun. Or bakit hindi mo sabi yung kapatid mo and everything. Pero, but then again, you know what I realized, Joey? Sabi ko, kasi 'di ba may isa kasi na parang bakit hindi mo masabi sa kapatid mo and all? Parang bakit ang taas kasi ng expectations natin sa kanya na may influence siya dapat sa kapatid niya, dapat turuan niya yung kapatid niya, dapat pagsabihan niya yung kapatid niya. Pero na-realize ko nga, ginawa ko na rin itong example na parang sabi ko, I have a friend na pinaral niya yung kapatid niya, nakapag-asawa, naging seaman, naging mayaman, pero nung nag-asawa na, naging under the saya. At siya na ate, wala na siyang influence sa kapatid niya. Kung ang may influence pa sa kapatid niya, yung asawa at saka yung in-laws. So parang sabi ko, hindi kaya ganito ang relationship ni Amy sa BBM. Parang, kunwari, super ate siya and everything, pero ang totoo naman talaga, hindi talaga siya narinig. Kung outside ko lambo talaga siya. Parang ganun. And I think, nakikita naman natin na hindi talaga siya laging kasama, di ba? Pero anyway, ako, for me, more than any suspicion about distrust and all, action kasi, pag tinignan mo talaga yung actions niya, track record niya.
Result, oo. Yun kasi yun kasi yung ano eh. Sabi ko nga, ako okay lang ako, naiintindihan ko yung mga galit, like for example, yung mga ganitong comment na yung, hindi kasi alam ni Amy na bangag yung kapatid. I think Amy Marcos still owes the explanation to us. Yung ano yung alam niya doon sa drug use ng kapatid niya. She still owe us an explanation on that. Ganon. Like, kung alam mo, anong ginawa mo? Ganon. Although ako, hindi ko naman kasi ina-expect na parang, masasave ba talaga ng kapatid yung drug addict na kapatid, yung ganon. Sa akin lang, explain mo. Dapat ma-explain mo. Ano yung extent ng knowledge mo sa addiction ng kapatid mo? Ganyan. Yun. So, utang pa rin talaga yan ni Sen Amy. And that is something that she really has to explain. I just find it a little bit ridiculous kapag kunwari, yung mga question, yung mga demands is becoming out of hand. Like, for example, hindi, dapat kasuhan niya yung kapatid niya. Hindi, dapat ipa-impeach niya yung kapatid niya. Parang, she was able to extract a lot of information during the foreign relations hearing. Ganon. And anybody can use the information that she was able to extract. Ang alay ni PRRD, hindi lang naman si Amy Marcos eh. Hindi ko mag-gets. So parang bakit lahat ng tao kailangan, gusto nila, si Amy ang kikilos sa lahat. Diba? Bakit siya yung kikilos sa lahat? Bakit siya yung, I just find it so ridiculous.
Exactly.
No? I think
that comes,
ano yung trabaho niya at dapat gawin niya. O ang trabaho niya, nasa foreign relations siya, mag-hear siya tungkol dito sa nangyari kay PRRD and she did. 'Di ba? And she did it in a way na with flying colors. Talagang marami talagang nakuha at marami tayong naintindihan ng mga pangyayari, madaming mga na-sort out na mga bureaucratic problems doon sa hearing and things like that, ganyan. Of course, I still want it to end in such a way na meron talagang very, very strong conclusion and very strong action plan on what's gonna be done after the hearing. Pag nasabi na yung committee report na parang dapat meron tayo step by step dito ng mga concrete action na dapat mangyari after. Especially to those people who are supposed to be accountable doon sa mga illegal acts na nangyari. Lalong-lalo na ni General Torre. Dahil obvious na daming nilabag na batas ni General Torre. Who's gonna sue? 'Di ba?
Exactly.
Who's gonna sue? Sa akin, kahit sino pa magkaso dyan, sige, kung kunwari si Amy Marcos, di go, plus point sa kanya. Pero dapat, yung mga ibang kakampi rin ni PRRD at ni Inday, kumilos din.
Exactly. Alam mo sa Senate sa performance interview kasi alam mo Joey, di ba tinutukan ko talaga tong budget talaga. So
naka-mute ka there. Napindot mo yung mute.
Tinutukan ko talaga yung budget talaga, di ba? So ngayon, ang nangyari, so nakikita ko talaga yung sino yung mga tao talaga na, for example, during the yung interpellation ng budget, si Coco Pimentel. And alam mo, more than anyone else, si Robin niya, hindi nga nagsasalita yan talaga masyado sa budget. Once niya yata or what, pero si Bato, si Senator Bongo. I mean, of course, we will vote for them, di ba? Pero ang ibig ko lang sabihin, kung maging facts lang, fact-based lang tayo, parang set aside everything, based lang sa track record, Amy did really say something talaga. I mean, she did some concrete action talaga. And simula pa sa People's Initiative, siya yung expose kay Martin Romualdez, sa insertions. And for us, of course, nasabi natin na, okay, maybe hindi enough. Parang, alam mo yun, parang, but the thing is, sinasabi natin, sana sinabi niya si BBM. Pero again, given kung ano yung dynamics ng relationship nila, di ba? Ano ba talaga yung relationship nila? Is it something like before na pwede lang sabihin na parang, okay, pwede bang sabihin lang yun na parang he can just dictate, di ba? Kaso nga lang kung wala na siyang influence sa kapatid niya, kasi nga, kung sino yung nakapalibot sa kanya.
Ang iniisip kasi ng mga tao, lalo na yung mga galit na galit, ang question kasi nila is that, is Amy part of the pambubudol? Ganon. Is Amy part of the pambubudol? A lot of people say that she is. Kasi nga, kapatid nga siya ni BBM. At kumbaga, parang ang ina-attribute nila na yung entire budulan na nangyari is the fault of Senator Amy. Ngayon, pagdating kasi dun sa part na yon, I think ang best person to decide whether or not Amy is also a traitor. Kasi sa akin, agree naman ako dun kung mapapatunayan na si Senator Amy ay isa sa mga tao na nang-traidor kay Inday Sara, wala dapat kapatawaran. As in, wala talaga. Traitorship is something that you forgive. 'Di ba? Yung pagta-traidor is something that you don't forgive. Generally naniniwala ako sa mga pagpapatawad, pero yung traidoran hindi yan pinapatawad. Ganon.
Ay, parang kayo ni Putin. That is the only thing he was interviewed. He said that is what is it that you cannot forgive? There's only one thing that he cannot forgive, and that is betrayal.
Betrayal. Ayan. So ngayon, yung betrayal kasi na yan, ang best judge dyan would be PRRD and Inday. 'Di ba? It's gonna be PRRD or Inday's judgment who's going to say na, yeah, she is part of the betrayal or she is not part of the betrayal. And so, kaya nga sabi ko nung una, ako hindi naman part si Amy ng listahan ko . I just want to impose the Dutertes the vote. That's all that I want to do because I have reasons. And these reasons are something that I have been talking about since October 2024. But
yes, ikaw yung mananguna dyan.
Ito si Amy, in-endorse ni Inday. So, ano ba to? Ibig sabihin ba nito, kino-confirm ni Inday na hindi part si Amy ng betrayal? Or meron pa bang ibang play itong si Inday? Regardless, I will trust her judgment. And, kahit pa sabihin ninyo na, kasi sinasabi ng iba, hindi, nabudol na kasi sinunod namin si VP, nabudol na kami, ganyan. Like I said, ako, at the end of the day, kahit pa sabihin natin na, nabudol kayo because naniwala kayo sa boto ni Inday noong 2022 and things like that. I'm still not going to I'm going to stand by her because I know that despite the fact na meron siyang kahinaan, meron siyang mga weaknesses, Inday is not gonna be perfect. She's a very young politician. She's a very young national politician. Okay? This is her first 3 taon pa lang na national politician si Inday . And I'm pretty sure she's gonna make a mistake in the future. Diba? Yes. But nevertheless, I'm going to give her that latitude to make a mistake because I want Inday to lead me. At the end of the day, Inday is still the only person that I can trust at this moment.
Yes.
And wala naman tayong ibang sino ibang aasahan ko dito na magde-decide? I want Inday to lead me because I believe she she's capable of being a great leader. After all, Inday is is a problem solver. Manager si Inday eh. She really sees the problem and she can actually see the solution according to her own ang tawag dito, appreciation of the circumstances. And she's our best bet and I'm going to give her the latitude to decide.
And Joey,
give us Inday, di ba?
Yes, and Joey, after all the budol, after all this impeachment, after all these things, PRRD being in The Hague, alam mo, si Inday, factored in niya lahat to. She wouldn't just make this decision for the sake of friendship. Of course not. I mean, who will do that, right? So, ang ibig sabihin, kasi kami ni Kat, we have finally decided na we will support Amy. Others will not appreciate it, others will be magagalit sila and all, but and it's okay, it's perfectly understandable. We're pushing for the 10 block vote before, and now since I saw the post of Rizet and Sas and at Fiscal Darwin na it's not maganda na wag mag-iwan ng dalawa, so dapat kumpletuhin. That's why I've been heavily pushing for the 10, and of course plus 2, depende kung sino gusto nyo. But ako kasi, Joey, ganito, nasundan ko yung budget simula sa House, sa Senate, committee level, plenary level, BICAM, and tsaka ratification. Alam mo, Joey, gigil na gigil ako na makahanap ng isang senador o isang kongresista na tatayo at magtatanong, magkikilatis ng budget. Wala akong may scarcity sa ganun. And isa si Amy Marcos na gumawa nun. Kaya nga ako sobrang excited ako kay Marcoleta who will be in the Senate. Kasi I know that Rodante Marcoleta will be so fierce talaga. He will be very principled. I mean, he's very principled, so he will put into action all these things.
And Marcoleta is not scared, no? Even if mag-isa na lang siya dun sa Congress, di ba?
Yes. Siya ngayon, alam mo, parang, I just so love him talaga. So, kung meron siyang katuwang sa Senate who will do that. I mean, of course, Marcoleta also said before when Amy delivered the privilege speech na, bakit ka kasi ng privilege speech? Dapat, huwag kang umalis dun sa BICAM. Nagwala ka dapat dun sa BICAM. That's what Marcoleta said, okay? Kaya parang they also belittled ang ginawa ng Amy na bakit siya ng privilege speech na lang. Well, ako din, nag-comment din ako ng ganun. Alam mo kung susuyo din yung page ng Dare to Ask, ang dami kong criticisms kay Amy dyan. But I also always acknowledge yung ginagawa niya. Kasi, tayo, parang, of course, we have biases, diba? Pero at the same time, ako kasi yun nga, parang ang panuntunan ko sa maging kandidato, impeachment, budget, PRD, and of course, yung mga Senate hearings and investigations. Kasi ang sakit sa pakiramdam na pag may mabibigat na mga issues, wala kang senador na maaasahan na magpapatawag ng hearing. Wala.
Ng mga issues.
Wala. Alam mo, Senator Amy filed a resolution asking the Senate to investigate the DPWH flood control projects of Bicol. Nagpatawag siya, naggumawa siya ng resolution na yun. I posted about it also. And I was thinking, oh, hindi siya pinansin ni Cheese. Wala, hindi ni-refer sa rules, hindi ni-refer sa committee. So, sabi ko, I mean, she did something talaga. Kasi ang inisip ko nga, alam mo si Amy, niya, talagang malakas yung niya sa mga social media. Talagang parang nakikinig talaga siya sa social media, sa totoo lang. Kasi magugulat ka minsan, ang laman ng mga speeches niya, mga sinasabi niya, parang very much, siya.
It's in reaction to the criticism thrown at her.
Grabe talaga. Talagang meron talaga. Kaya ako, malakas ang loob ko na magsalita ng ganito kasi kaya kong suportahan yung mga sinasabi ko. May proof ako na pwedeng ipakita kung ano yung ginawa niya. Alam mo yun? This is not a blind, this is not even nang dahil ka-Inday lang, you know? Of course, that's also a major factor. But basically, kailangan mo ng isang senador na talagang magsasalita against sa pambababoy sa budget. Kailangan mo talaga may magsalita dyan. Why? Nagugustuhan mo ba si Bong Revilla? Si Lito Lapid, okay ba sila? Sitting pretty sila? Wala silang sinasabing statement? Diba hindi? Tayo sa social media, gigil na gigil tayo. Na parang, please speak up. Parang how I wish ang nandyan sa Senado si Panelo. How I wish si Harry Roque nandyan sa Senado para magsalita. How I wish si Sas nasa Senado para magsalita. Pero wala sila sa Senado. Wala sila sa Senado. Sino ang nasa Senado? At saka sino ang nagsasalita? Diba? Parang linean niya sa diba, sa ads. Sino? Pero,
hindi ko na-feel yung mga gano'n. Hindi ko na-feel, sa totoo lang, hindi ko na-feel yung mga gano'n. Kasi diba, kaya magkasundo yan si Direk Daryl at saka si Senator Amy kasi parehas silang bakla. So gustong-gusto nila yung mga ganyan, yung mga, sino ang mga kinembot, tapos yung mga, kasi nga diba, nag-venture yan into movies talaga si Senator Amy.
Alam mo ba si Amy, siya, producer siya ng Himala.
Himala,
Walang himala, producer
Oo.
siya. So,
Oo.
alam mo,
So,
tsaka
ano siya
nag-background
talaga
talaga din
yung
ako sa
ano rin siya sa visual arts, gano'n. Kaso
oo.
hindi ko talaga ma-take yung mga actingan natin.
Yeah. Alam mo, hindi ko gusto kay Imee, yung minsan naiinis ako minsan 'pag nagde-deflect siya, basta sasabihin na, "Hindi ko nga alam, eh, bakit gano'n?" Naku, nakakainis na sila, eh. Nakakatuwa nga,
Oo,
eh, nakakatawa
oo.
nga, eh. Alam mo, naiinis ako, 'wag mo nang pansinin yan. I really don't like her when she talks like that.
Oo,
Ay, di ko talaga gusto
oo,
kasi parang naisip ko, "Ay, hindi 'to seryoso." But the thing is,
oo.
alam mo, Joey, alam mo, kahit i-railroad pa yan ni Martin at saka ni BBM yung budget at kung ano-ano pa man, if you have andito na naman ako, if you have a strong, independent, principled Senate, hindi yan makakalusot yung mga yan. So, paano mo masabi, well, she has a track record of doing that. So, alam mo, nakikita ko yung tandem ni Marcoleta at saka ni Imee, although kahit hindi sila ganun ka, okay, maybe
Magkasundo. Oo.
magkasundo. Pero ang importante, kailangang may tumayo doon during sa plenary na talagang kikilatis ng budget. Yung totoong alam yung figures ng budget. Hindi lang yung
Oo.
magtatanong lang na, okay na tayo diyan, bahala na kayo diyan, hindi gano'n.
Oo.
Someone who
And
really
to
has
be
the
to be
figures.
fair with Sen. Imee 'no, bago yung mga exposés ni Kong Ungab na sinabi niya doon sa yung when Kong Ungab was actually looking at the national budgets. Of course, si Kong Ungab kasi nasa House siya, eh, and yung
Yeah.
voice niya talaga in criticizing the 2025 national budget is a big deal kasi sa kanila nag-originate yan, eh, yung 2025 budget because all budget bills must originate from the lower house.
Yes.
So malaki talaga yung voice ni Kong Ungab diyan sa pag-criticize ng budget. But yung observations ni Kong Ungab is the same observation of Senator Imee before pa mabalik yung budget sa House after the BICAM. Ganon. So,
Exactly.
nag-ano
She was the
talaga,
first one.
nag-corroborate yung observation.
Imee was the first one who really spoke up after the BICAM, kinabukasan. So, ang BICAM was December 28, something, basta nandun sa
December 11 eh,
Okay, yeah.
yung unang BICAM, December 11.
Tapos nag-December,
Parang a week after that.
kasi December 18 yung privilege speech niya. Okay, sa December 17 yung ratification, after the BICAM ratification. Sa ratification, may mga speech din doon si Po, at saka wala nga siya doon sa Imee. So, effectively, she did not vote. She was absent. But anyway, kung ang lahat ng sinabi niya doon, ayan, lahat ng sinabi niya doon, matindi yung pagkasabi niya dyan, not mincing words talaga. So, the question, do you trust Imee? No, maybe not. I don't think so. She is the brother of BBM, and BBM is a budol-budol man. So I don't trust her. But okay,
not
question.
with our lives. Not
Exactly.
with our lives.
Yeah, but now, kung as far as I'm concerned, ano bang mahalaga sa akin para iboto kong isang kandidato? Number one, someone who will not vote for impeachment against BP. Imee, check.
Yeah.
Someone who is
I cannot trust her with my entire life, but
exactly.
I can trust her na hindi niya iboboto si VP na ma-impeach.
Yes, and the
that
budget.
I can trust. Yeah, that I can.
Kasi yung impeachment, okay, kasi ako kasi tingin ko sa impeachment, if pa yan sa akin, di ba, dahil wala pa namang may constitutionality issue pa yung process. But anyway, whatever it is, this coming August, budget season na naman, simula na naman ng budget season, at ngayon, bukod pa dun sa budget na magsalita siya, who among the senators, not even Robin Padilla, not even Bongo or Bato, spoke directly, calling out and saying that Jesus Cordero is ambisyoso? Who else? It's only Imee who did that, di ba? And frankly speaking, kahit sa mga speeches at saka sa
yung yung putting Cheese Escudero in such a compromising position na remember hindi sila pinayagan ng kasi ganoon naman talaga. Actually maraming ang nagulat na hindi nakakaalam na the House Speaker and the Senate President, they have to approve yung power of contempt nung committee na maghi-hearing na is it allowed na mag-contempt, yung things like that. And that's part of, I'm not so sure why that became the rule, pero ganun yung practice ngayon sa Senate at saka sa House na kailangan i-approve ng House Speaker or ng Senate President whether or not the committee can issue a contempt order. I think it's because yung Senate President at saka yung House Speaker, they have to sign the contempt order. So they are the ones who also say na, oy, hindi, pagka nag-contempt kayo dyan, hindi ko pipirmahan or things like that. Big ass move yung kahit alam na nila na hindi pipirmahan ni Cheese yung contempt order, they still, Senator Bongo move for the contempt of Lacanilao and Imee Marcos carrying the motion. So, and it is simply because, kasi makita nyo naman, doon sa hearing, madami silang pinalampas na interference. Yung interference, interference actually is a ground na for them to issue a contempt order if they're allowed to do so. Pwede nang maging ground yun for contempt. Kasi before going to the House of Representatives, ni-review ko talaga rin yung mga ni-review rin talaga namin ng lawyer ko yung mga grounds for contempt. Yung undue interference is really a ground for contempt. At kung makita nyo doon sa hearing, ilang beses na nag-interfere si Boying Remulla, pero hindi nila pinapatulan na i-contempt si Boying Remulla. Because, kasi undue interference, medyo, naman talaga yan parang ano lang yan, pasensya lang naman yung ma-offend dyan, pasensya mo lang yung ma-offend dyan. But, ang pinaka-offensive, and I think the most disrespectful na move sa Senate or sa House of Representatives for that matter is if you are lying before them. And at that point, you will have no reason. Kasi parang, yung pasensya kasi, discretionary yan eh. Kung tiisin di titiisin ko, so hindi ko pa siya i-contempt. Ganon. At saka yung pag-undue interference, slightest provocation yan, kung gusto mong i-contempt, hanapan mo talaga ng reason para i-contempt. Diba? So ngayon, kung nung nagsisinungaling na si Canilao, blatantly nagsisinungaling na siya, they move to contempt, Senator Bato moved to contempt la Canilao, and Amy Marcos carrying that motion. That is a direct attack to Chis Escudero. Why? Because Chis Escudero would be caught between protecting his own kind or i-carry niya yung concession niya to someone else. Diba? Kasi, kaya nga sabi ko before tingin ko si Chis Escudero, kaya siya yung nag-guarantee na mag-a-attend ng mga executive officials kasi nangako siya sa powers that be na hindi mako-contempt yung mga executive officials na yun.
Exactly, but provided the premise would have been, no contempt, provided that walang pagsisinungaling or walang violation sa rules. However, nagsinungaling naman talaga siya. Pero what I've heard is, talagang ang pagbibigay naman ng show cause is really part of the due process. Pero yun nga lang, parang first time na ginawa to kasi that is in the rules according naman doon, di ba? Supreme Court ruling about versus on.
Alam mo even the issuing of the show cause order is actually an affront to the committee. Kasi ibig sabihin, you do not trust the judgment of your colleagues in the small committee, in the Foreign Relations Committee. You do not trust their judgment. You do not believe Senator Bato.
Si committee ba, pag inano na yung contempt, part ba yung ng process na bibigyan na ng show cause? Oh no, I'm sorry. Can you please clarify on that? Kasi I thought na pag I will not claim as I know this very well.
Yung show cause, it is the discretion of the committee. For example, we felt the committee felt na we are being disrespected here, ganyan. That's what we feel, ganyan. So kung yun yung nararamdaman ng committee, their option is to cite the person involved in contempt or to ask them explanation why they should not be cited in contempt. Yun yung option ng committee. Pero si Chis Escudero, for him to be the one to issue a show cause order, nag-move na nga sila for contempt. Diba? Nag-move na nga sila for contempt. Ibig sabihin, na-determine na dun sa level ng committee that it is a contemptuous act and it has to be reprimanded. It has to be acted upon. So ngayon, ang dito kay Chis, hindi, kayo dyan sa Foreign Relations Committee, Bato, I am not convinced with your appreciation of that contemptuous act. I'm going to ask la Canilao kung bakit ka dapat hindi. That's actually an affront to the Foreign Relations Committee, not only to Bato and not only to Amy, but to the whole committee. Diba? Ayun, so yun, talagang doon, talagang corner doon si Chis Escudero. Talaga siya, obvious talaga doon na unang-una, Chis Escudero doesn't want to protect his own kind. Senate President ka. In fact, the reason why you are there is because you're voted upon by your colleagues. Your job is to protect your colleagues. Your job is to keep the integrity of the Senate. Pagkatapos na babastos-bastos na yung mga kasamahan mo dyan, hindi ka convinced na nabastos sila? Bakit?
At saka alam mo, ang pangit ng statement kay Chis Escudero when he said that Amy Marcos just used the platform of the Senate for political reasons lang. Alam mo, it's within the territory, it's part of it. Yes, I mean, you cannot deny that. But the fact of the matter is, the hearing was really cold.
Not doing it.
Yes, exactly. But the thing is,
the other side, di ba?
Pero ang statement kasi ni Chis Escudero before that, he made two statements that the arrest of PRD did not affect the sovereignty of the Philippines. And the second one was he commended the PNP for the peaceful, quote unquote, arrest, serving of the warrant. So yun palang, mali na siya, di ba? So, but the thing is, how dare of him to say that any of his colleagues would use that as a venue for political agenda lang. The thing is, merong totoong concerns. May mga Pilipino, may mga taong talagang may totoong concerns na please imbestigahan niyo ito. It's really out of duty. Kung nakinabang man siya ng politika dyan, consequence na lang yan, parang party na lang yan. But there is really a real concern. And kaya nga sinabi ko, how dare of Chis Escudero to say that? Why? Why also for him? He also used the Senate to give in to the greed of the some members of Congress for so much, hundreds of billions, 300 billions of pet project insertions for the PWH. Why did he allow that in the BICAM? It was not in the House of Representatives, yung pag-increase ng pet project insertions. It was not in the Senate committee level. It was not even in the plenary. Lumabas na yun sa BICAM. Why did he allow that? That is also using the Senate as a venue for them to feed the greed of some of the members of Congress. So how dare of him to say like that? Diba?
Mm,
So, alam mo, the thing is, walang magsasalita kay Cheese ng ganon. Kaya nga, the other day, sabi ko, okay, nag-decide kami ni Kat na, okay, si Kat, talagang masama rin yung loob and all, but the thing is, okay, sige, VP has with Aimee, and hindi naman to siya para sa akin mahirap gawin. Kasi why? May mga reasons, nag-check kasi sa mga boxes ng panuntunan kung sino yung ibotong senador. And of course, we respect those people na magsasabi na, oh, ayaw namin ganyan, nabudol na kami and all. We understand that, and it's okay. It's okay if you feel like that. But the thing is, ngayong pagpasok ng 20th Congress, pag nagsimula yung 10 hours, 11 hours, 12 hours of budget hearing every single day, at wala kang makikitang senador dyan na tumatayo, what would you feel? Pagdating ng bike, sasabihin mo ulit, nagkakainis kasi bakit wala namang senador, wala nagsasalita. Because we were given a chance to elect people to be in the Senate to exactly voice our sentiments of opposing the mutilation of the national budget. But we did not do it. Diba? So, now, kaya nga, Joey, kailangan talaga yung Duterte talaga sa Senado talaga. Of course, we don't know how many makapunta dyan. But the thing is, we need a strong, independent, principled Senate talaga na talagang tatayo at magsasalita. And can you imagine Attorney Vic Rodriguez questioning, scrutinizing the budget of the office of the president? Or Marcoleta questioning the COA about their policies. Kasi dadaan yan sila eh. Kung sa House of Representatives, okay, happy-go-lucky lang sila. Pagdating ng Senado, kung meron ka talaga diyang matatapang na mga senador, hindi yan sila basta-basta makakalusot. Pag sinabi ng House of Representatives, okay, VP, ikat mo ng 50% yan, may issue pa rin kami sa kanya, bigyan na ng sahod ang mga empleyado. Pag sinabi ng House of Representatives yan, then ipapasa sa Senado. Kung meron kang weak rubber stamp, sunod-sunuran na Senate, it's all the same story again and again and again. Kahit mag-rally ka pa dyan sa EDSA, 1 million people like INC, nothing will happen. Hindi sila makikinig sa inyo. Kahit ilan pa kayong nandyan sa EDSA. Why? Because they have done it. They have done it in 2023, and 24, and 25. Why would they listen to you in 2026 budget? Why? Diba? So unless you have strong, independent, principled Senate, this 2026.
But those, their performance is yet to be known. Kumbaga, we are hoping that they are really going to move forward our interest once they get into power. Yun talaga yung kailangan natin. Yun yung inaasahan natin sa kanila. So that is why we need to prod the Duterte and the Duterte plus 2 to do what is incumbent upon them. Kasi we're giving our support to them. We are throwing our support sa Duterte plus 2. So they have to do that. They really need to be, we are voting them, expecting that they are going to be the strong opposition.
Exactly, Joey, wala tayong bayad ha. Sino, di ba? Parang akala ng mga iba, lalo na mga dilawan, mga pula, na parang the time that we're giving para sa pag-campaign, even yung sa contents lang and all. These are all, I haven't met any of those PDP. I haven't met any of the people, di ba? Pero we're doing this kasi yung love of country eh. Parang pag sabi bayaran ka and all. Pag yung mga natunay nagmamahal sa bansa, makaka-relate sila na you can give this much if you truly love your country. Kasi alam mo naman na can you imagine pag ang senador mo talagang may magagandang may mga magagaling na senador. Can you imagine the action, Joey, pagdating ng pag may mga investigations? Alam mo yun, pag may budget, can you imagine kung ano yung mangyayari, di ba? So ito yung ngayon, ito yung pagtatanim natin ngayon, so that we can have the kind of Senate na gusto natin, na yung pinapangarap natin, para ma-achieve yung ganyang Senate na gusto natin. Ngayon pa lang, talagang magtatrabaho talaga tayo. Kasi kung ngayon, papasok unfortunately, si Revilla, although ang pababa naman yung rating niya, pero they're still in the Magic 12 eh. At saka
actually, in as much as we are campaigning for the Duterte plus 2, you also have to tell your friends, your family members, your colleagues, to do not vote for the Tulfos. Do not vote for the Tulfos. Please, my God. Wag na po kayong bumoto ng Tulfo. That's number 1. Do not vote for Manny Pacquiao and Bong Revilla.
At saka you have to call talaga yung kamag-anak. Kasi tayo, we are like in a bubble tayo. Kasi in our community, we support each other. Pero yung mga kamag-anak, pamangkin, kaya nga ako nagtatawag, I have mentioned this to you already before, pero nagtatawag ako talaga ng mga pamangkin. First time voter. Naku, binaboto si Bam at saka si Kiko. But pina-introduce ko yung PDP Laban, Duterte. Who are they? So, kinukwento ko. At kasi approach namin is budget. So, like, okay, we tell them, Subway, walang budget, binawasan ng budget, 0 2024. So, ito yung ginawa ng administrasyon. Ito mga senador na ito nilang salita and all. So, if you will vote for these people, they will not talk about the subway. They will not talk about the budget. Sabi ko, nanonood ka ng Korean novela, di ba?
Make it relatable, no? Make it relatable.
Sabi ko, nanonood ka ng Korean novela, di ba? Ang ganda ng subway, ang ganda ng train. ganyan din sana mangyayari sa Pilipinas kung binabudgetan yung subway. Pero hindi nila binigyan ng budget ng 2024. So, pero sa Duterte, siguradong hindi makalusot yung mga ganon na politiko kasi si Duterte may bill siya. So that's part of his legacy. There is talaga. So, alam mo, just present facts kasi wala naman, we don't need to invent stories or what. We just have to tell them the truth kung ano nangyari sa budget. Kasi hindi naman din lahat nakakaintindi about plenary, about committee, about GAB, about GAA, di ba? O hindi naman lahat nakakaintindi ng ganon. And it's okay. If they will ask further, then we can explain. But otherwise, just make it simple and relatable and true information talaga.
True. Ayan. Anyway, mag-alas 4 na, tayo mag-end live na.
Oh my goodness.
Oo. Sas, meron ka pa bang gustong meron kang gustong i-last words before tayo mag-end live?
Wala na. Sana tigilan na. Alam mo yun, ito na lang masasabi ko sa mainstream media. You cannot stop fighting the flow. Stop fighting the flow. Because if you keep on fighting the flow, you will actually drain yourself. Just accept the flow of discourse in the world right now. It is actually this power, discursive power, the power to form narratives is actually dispersing. Now, what you want to do is to return to what it was used to be. It cannot be done, darling. It cannot be done. The genie is already out of the bottle. The toothpaste is already out of the tube.
We cannot put it back.
You cannot put them back, darling. And it is against entropy. You are actually going against the laws of physics. Things will get more complex. So what are you going to do? Are you going to go against the laws of physics? No, that's not possible, darling. Kahit magdasal pa kayo sa Diyos, babatukan lang kayo ng Diyos.
Grabe siya.
Sasabihin lang sa inyo ng Diyos, punyeta ka, na-set ko na ang laws of physics, babaguhin ko for you? Ano ka? So, understand the flow, be like water, adapt, okay? And yung babaguhin nyo yung mga tao, sisiraan nyo, ginawa nyo na yan noon sa isa't isa. Sa network wars ninyo, GMA7 and ABS-CBN, di ba grabe ang
nakita na namin yan, di ba?
Nakita na namin yan, grabe ang bardagulan nyo noon, grabe ang siraan nyo noon. Hindi ba, naalala nyo yung siraan pa nga nung nung Itbulaga versus It's Showtime?
Oo, It's Showtime, yeah.
Yung MTV, siraan din kayo noon. O, naalala niyo sa It's Showtime, saka yung sa Itbulaga, yung nagsisiraan sila, di ba yung isa yung Pastillas Girl, tapos yung isa, Alden, yung Aldab. Tapos, napapataasan sila ng ihi kung sino ang may organic following. Naalala niyo yan? Ginawa nyo na yan dati, di ba? Sinasabi, di ba sabi pa ni Vice Ganda, Emerald, organic. So, ibig mo sabihin, nun, peke yung kabila. Hindi ba? So, nakita na namin to. This is nothing new. So, you have to understand that the flow, the nature of the flow is to flow. Okay? Do you really think that you can stop this? Even if you remove Joey, me, or somebody else, even if you remove Joey, me, or you physically eliminate me, somebody else will replace me. And maloka kayo, baka the people who would replace us would be much worse than us. Mas maloka kayo. Because mamaya wala na sila sa rationality, sa realm of rationality or etc. Pero that is stop this. You cannot undo the flow of how things are flowing. Okay? You cannot fight the river of time. No one can ever do that, even God. No? Because He already set it up. That is it. Then you have to flow with it. You need to swim with it. You cannot do the same thing that you were doing before against your competition. Do you know why? Because right now, the power to shape narratives is no longer just in the hands of those with superior material capability. The power to shape narratives is now beginning to flow more into people who are actually authentic, who can connect with people, and that people could actually relate to because they do not separate themselves from the masses. And I love you all.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ka-Moisture. Ayan, there, last words ka na.
Yes, maraming salamat for this opportunity finally and makahinat mo ulit. Joke. Yeah, so and tayo naman we're not forcing people to eto pa nga Joey, I think hindi ako masusurprise if VP will endorse more than 12 candidates. I will not be surprised kasi ganun na yung ginawa niya dati pa. Nag-endorse ng more than 12. Tapos, depende sa mga tao kung sino pipiliin nila. Diba? Wala namang pilitan, kumbaga. Pero, but then again, you will vote according to kung anong, sa conscience mo, diba? At kung ano yung basis mo kung bakit ka, you will vote for someone. And ang ano lang siguro is, let's level up the national discourse, diba? And respect others kung yun yung gusto nila, diba? Kung ano yung sino yung boto nila. Wala naman tayong pilitan. At saka, just maybe you can present better arguments so that you convince people to side with you. Ganun na lang siguro. To have a healthy discussion. And basta tayo, ang sigurado, lahat tayo, ipaglaban natin at ikampanya talaga natin. Not just ilang araw na lang kasi, diba? Not just yung, as much as you can, diba? You can ballers, magpint ng tarps and all, kung kaya naman. Kung hindi kayang puntahan.
Baller.
Yung ganyan, yes, yung ganyan. Tsaka yung pwedeng halimbawa, message nyo, WhatsApp, sa OFWs, use your power of the purse, diba? Parang to encourage your family members kasi ngayon lang itong hirap na to, but kung ano yung mangyaring maganda, we will really enjoy that, diba? Comes the 20th Congress. And sana God will bless our effort talaga. Kumbaga, His will be done. And yun lang. Maraming salamat. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Ayan, maraming salamat sa lahat ng mga nag-join ng ating live